it's Ryder from the KQ Morning Show. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that good stuff. Thanks for using the Best of the KQ Morning Show podcast to get through your holiday season. Sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. New episodes fire up Monday, January 6th.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
Here's an interesting question. Would you rather have a great night's sleep or would you rather have some great sex? On the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK. The first text I saw said, well, does this great lay have to be with your spouse? If yes, I'll take the sleep.
Oh, that's
Okay,
romantic.
sad.
I love it. There's reality right in the face this morning at 6:30. You know when I get good sleep? Right after I get laid.
Yeah, they do. They
Great
do.
sleep,
They do
yeah.
go hand in hand, or hand in glove, as the case may be, for sure.
Yeah, because I'm definitely aged past the do it all night. I can't believe I've got to go to work and we're still doing it.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. Now it's just, did you get yours? I got mine. Catch you in the morning kind of thing, yeah.
About half the people in a nationwide poll say they'd take a good night's sleep. 65% of women, by the way, said that. 45% of people say they never or very rarely ever get enough sleep. 1 in 5 adults says they don't sleep within reach of technology. Only 1 out of 5 aren't within reach of their phone or a laptop or an iPad or something.
Sleep is for suckers.
I guess so. Tony, do you still sleep? You have a sleep room. It's like a dark closet. It's all padded. There's no lights.
Yeah,
you still have that, right?
little sleeping bag and some black light, and I just close the closet door. No, what if you fall asleep during sex? Then you have a delightful
No fun.
combo.
Been there.
Yeah.
Delightful.
Been there, done that.
I've done that during foreplay recently. Yeah, it's not
Didn't go
flattering.
over well, I imagine.
No, you get a slap in the back of the head.
I can't say I've fallen asleep during. I can say I've passed out during sex. It wasn't really falling asleep as much as it was just like, oh boy, that's
Good point.
That last hour at the bar was unnecessary. Wow, I really didn't get any more charming or more alert, did I? These things happen, I guess. What are you gonna do? It's interesting. 651-989-ROCK. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Sleep or sex, I guess. But like you said, Zepp, they're totally intertwined to me. You're exactly right. Good sex leads to great sleep. So if
In a
nothing
perfect
else,
world.
yeah, this is life's all about the breadcrumbs. You got to know which ones to follow, I suppose.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Question of the day. If you could control an MnDOT, how do you say that? MnDOT?
MnDOT.
MnDOT sign, a Minnesota Department of Transportation highway sign. You could put anything on there you want. What would it say? And the reason this comes to mind, apparently somebody got a hold of a system and hacked in Florida and took control of one of those signs and simply put in 3 words. Large penis ahead.
Put on your brights.
I mean, I assume that's always a valid statement. I mean, there's someone's hanging somewhere.
And behind. You may be surrounded by large penises.
But, it just got us thinking. There's another example that Zepp found where somebody wrote simply, "Welcome to Fart City." Come on, that's funny,
Yes,
man.
it is. Especially when you're sitting there in traffic. I tell you, I made the mistake of rolling out into it at 5 p.m. last night. And you folks out there, God bless you.
Where were you? Where did you have to go at 5 o'clock yesterday?
I was just, trucking around the cities, going between St. Paul and Minneapolis.
there you go.
That dreaded drive at 5 p.m. And it, just gridlock. And I thought, man,
I had a few of those this week rehearsing for the gig tonight over in St. Paul and then coming back to Minneapolis. Yesterday, thankfully, we got out early. We had an earlier rehearsal. But yeah, I had Tuesday and Wednesday, like 5:15. Okay, see you tomorrow, guys. And I'm like, oh, for God's sakes, just crawling up University for miles because the highway's just impossible. Anyway,
We're like a captive audience.
Hit us up on the KQ text line, 651-989-ROCK, or go to the KQRS Facebook page and let us know what your sign would say. Tony, you got a MnDOT sign. Anywhere in the metro, it doesn't have to be in a specific place, but I'm saying I'm going to give you one sign. What are you putting up there?
I would go with some kind of non sequitur of some sort. I'd put like, honk if you love Triscuits. Just to make people do double takes. Or the lizard circus is back.
Jed on the Facebook page, this is what he would put. Lutefisk, breakfast of champions.
That's a good one.
That's strong. Yeah, drive fast, take chances, YOLO. That's a good one. Yeah.
Drink more Ovaltine, according to Steve here.
That's good. That's good. There's a few. Here's several of these on the text line. Quit tailgating. Stop cutting off semi-trucks. Yeah, the truckers are weighing in here. And
Yeah.
I have a blanket statement to all truckers. Sorry, man. We're the worst. I mean, I watch people constantly ride right on a semi's ass and then get right over and pass it and immediately cut it off getting back. Man, people just leave. My mom used to say, honey, he's at work.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
His office. That was her thing about leave. Just give them all the space that you would ever want. She's like, honey, they're at work now. I'm like,
If for no other reason, you're not going to ever win that one.
no.
You know, there is no fender bender with a semi.
Right.
You're flat.
That's a very good point. I think if there's not a word limit, I would just put some like horrific thing that sort of sounds like poetry but makes no sense. You know, like,
something with a lot of words.
friendship spawned in true brotherhood can't gainsay itself against all others. They're like what? You know, just some word salad. You know, like oh man.
Of course,
Yeah.
I couldn't help myself messing with people. I'd put something up there like, I don't know, right now your spouse is home cheating on you. Or something like that.
Or no, just think of Mike, Debbie's a whore. You know, like what? What the hell? You know, because someone out there named Mike is dating a girl named Debbie.
Oh,
you know
it.
Mike, I didn't know how to tell you this. Debbie hit on me at the bar last night. You know, just waiting for someone to drive by and go, what the hell?
Right.
Matt on the Facebook page, visiting in-laws, slow down. Get there late.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
There'll be a lot of that coming up in a couple of
Here's
weeks.
another good one. Watch out for the moron reading this. That's it. Oh, and by the way, Tom, I'm with you. Two things here. Tom wrote, dim your frickin' high beams.
Yeah.
Okay, big supporter of that one. And secondly, my God, when it's raining, put your lights on. How hard is it?
Right. Come
How
on.
hard is it?
It's just,
It's the law.
when in doubt, just turn the damn things on. It's not like the lights at home. You're not paying for the electricity.
Yeah, and it's also not so you can see better. It's so we can see you. How hard is this? I've always been pretty good with these things. But I will admit, as a young driver, I was terrible about not using turn signals. I would just, because in my mind, I'm like, well, no one's here. No one sees. It doesn't matter. I got time to. And then, at some point, somebody said, if you just use them every single time, you don't have to think about anything. You never are in the wrong if you have your signal on. And it finally clicked. I was probably in my mid-40s. Oh, yeah, I've been driving like a douche for 30 years. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I really thought I was above turn signals for some reason.
And there's no reason that it bothers me, but it does bother me when someone's going around the curve. They're already in the lane. You use your turn signal if you're changing, you're going into another lane. Mm-hmm. If you're in that lane and that lane is going right anyway, you don't have to turn on your turn signal, but it'll bother me. Some people do it on curves. I'm like, yes, where else are you going to go? Thanks for making me aware that you're not veering into the ditch at this moment.
Yeah, no kidding. The KQ Talk at text line, if you could get control of a MnDOT sign, what would you put up there? What words would you post on the sign? Because every few years, somebody hacks into a DOT sign link somewhere and gets some stuff up there. This was prompted by someone in Florida. Got into a Florida dot sign. They were able to put the words "large penis ahead" on the sign, which, again, I mean, that's one of those things. That's one of those, like, it's a funny idea. It's funny to say you do it, but to actually go through with it and do it, it's like when you're at a truck stop and you see a crazy sticker or a T-shirt. And I laugh at you laugh at it, but then you're like, but then someone actually bought it and wore that shirt. You know what I mean? Just like, I mentioned this last summer at the fair. We went out on the first Friday of the fair. We've been out there the last 2 years, but my first year, we're talking to people and we're all hanging out and it's very nice. But a guy walked by and he didn't come to say hi to us, but I saw a gentleman, an older guy, like at least our age, like not a kid. And he had a T-shirt that said, "I'm not a gynecologist, but I'm happy to have a look." And I just thought,
sir.
okay, if I saw that shirt on a hanger at Spencer Gifts in the mall, I would laugh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think about buying it. And if I did buy it, it would be specifically for one place where I'd know one person with, I'd wear it to a friend's house. This guy's out walking around. There's 100,000 people out there, and he's just walking.
And rest assured, he's never seen
No.
vagina
And
in his
I
life.
just thought, wow, that's such a commitment right there.
I know.
Yeah.
Could have worn the Ralph Lauren polo, but no, this I'll choose this.
The hubris. I admire I don't know, just the confidence.
guts? Yeah.
Just to walk out like that and
Yeah.
walk around. Yeah.
No, there's
Maybe he
just-
lost a bet. Maybe he lost his fantasy football league.
You know what? That didn't even occur to me. You're exactly right. Now that you just talk about adding funny to funny. That's actually much funnier.
Out there right now is a fantasy football league. Manager that's going. I think I've
he's
got the
searching
perfect.
for that shirt.
There he is.
That is outstanding. It's really, really good. Yeah.
I told you when I was out at Sturgis, I've said too many times, there's a mom pushing a baby down the sidewalk with a onesie on the baby that said, "My dad only wanted a blowjob."
My God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But he got me instead. What a gift.
Oh, well. That's great.
I told you guys at the state fair, I saw, the T-shirts that say, "I'm with stupid," and there's an arrow pointing to the side.
Yeah.
There was a guy wandering, and it said, "Loves it in the ass," with an arrow pointing to the side.
Oh, come on.
He chose that,
Oh, my God.
and out the door he went.
Every time you tell me that, it's like the first time I heard it, my reaction.
Wow.
Yeah.
God bless.
That's
God
very,
bless
very good.
America, right
Very,
there.
very good. I saw one. I mean, I've seen this several times, but I always like the one. Said yes to drugs.
Yeah.
To say no to drugs.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's always a good one. There's the other one with the arrow pointing down, emotional support penis. I've seen that one before too.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, you gotta, you just never know. You never know where. Oh wait. It's. I'm getting it. It looked like one of those signs where it's like two human figures, very, very sparse.
Yeah.
And it's a boat, and there's a couple obviously having relations, and it says, "I support offshore drilling."
Right.
And again, okay, you get the idea, but someone went through with it, someone printed it, someone bought it, someone's wearing it down the street.
Yeah, that's right, man.
You gotta love it.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
Urologist, God love them. They're the people you never want to talk to, but if you do talk to them, it's because you need to talk to them type of thing. When someone says, "Have you talked to a urologist?" It's like, crap, I'm getting old. Probably makes sense. Anyway, they were discussing a very specific issue with urologists, and it turns out that they said, "You know what? Go for it. It's totally okay." Now, this is going to be great news for all of us. They said, "Hey, you want to pee in the shower? By God, you go for it. Pee in the shower."
All right. What if you're not showering?
We needed a urologist to give us the green light, apparently. If you're not showering, why not? I mean, it's going to end up in the same place anyway. They said, listen, there's really, by the way, I should state, they were really more or less giving a shout out to the women with this, because men, we're already doing it all the time anyway. There's never been a consideration of a health risk for men to pee in the shower. And like I said, we do it all the time. I can't remember the last time I took a shower. This is true. I could go to the bathroom. I could take a long, hale and hearty healing leak into the toilet and flush it. And then I go hop in the shower, and there's going to be some more pee. The shower will make me pee.
Yeah.
It happens. It's just part of the deal. But however, women have been told for years, a lot of women are under the impression that peeing's not a great idea for you because your pelvic floors, the claim is if you're peeing while you're in the shower as a woman, your pelvic floor muscles aren't able to relax, and then you might end up straining. And then over time, you can weaken those muscles, And these urologists are going, no, it's fine. Listen, just don't strain. Relax. Let it happen. It's going to be a little messy, but the shower rinses it all away, and all that pee goes right down the drain. So, ladies, just let it flow.
Yeah, I'm shocked that women would overthink something like this.
Nobody told me not to pee in the shower because of that reason. I was told not to pee in the shower as a kid because it was gross, and maybe it goes back to taking a bath or whatever.
Yeah.
But dude, are you guys seriously every day peeing in the shower?
Every time. Well, I mean, I don't shower every day. I was just kidding. Although we did have a broken toilet once, and we did pee in the tub for a short period of time with some guys I was living with. Just peeing, though. That was the rule. You had to go outside in the alley for the other. But
in the alley?
well, you know.
You can't even shovel there. Oh, jeez.
No, is anyone else bothered that I know that women now have a pelvic floor? Do we have a pelvic floor?
Ooh, I don't know if you do. That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. But yeah, of course it's like there's a little pee reserve. It's like our bladder just saves a little pee for the pee in the shower, which is the most satisfying pee of all. It's
like this, Ryder. You walk Chauncey out. He's gonna pee on like 50 different things. Every little stump, every hydrant, every road sign. He's marking his territory. And for a guy, they have that reserve pee just for the shower. It's in there, and you just it's just something about it. It's going to have to come out then. To answer your questions up, if I'm not mistaken, women do the pelvic floor. I think at the end of the Lemon song, doesn't Robert Plant sing down on your pelvic floor? Wow, wow, wow.
I couldn't understand a lot of that, I never read the lyrics. But.
If anybody was going to sing about a pelvic floor, I do think it would have been Robert Plant in the Zeppelin heyday.
Yeah, exactly.
Pelvic floor.
Lord of the Rings and a female anatomy.
Yeah, well, sure, man. Listen, wait till you get into Elven pelvic floors. That's a whole...
I'd love to.
Watch yourself. So we all pee in the shower. We've all admitted it, and we're all okay about it.
I was just about to shout him out specifically, but we did get a text from husband Steven, Mr. Ryder, who says, I don't pee in the shower. I'm just breathing a sigh of relief.
Oh, really,
yes,
Steven?
That's what he says.
Steven. Come on.
I don't know. Really? Okay. I've never heard of a guy not peeing in the shower. But, but he's just trying to keep things peaceful at home. Is he in the doghouse a little bit recently? Maybe something he did he's trying to get out of?
Oh, man. We did have to work over Thanksgiving weekend at the store. So maybe that was it. Maybe it was more relaxing time. But I've never heard of this being like a common thing other than that one Seinfeld episode.
I don't remember that one.
When George peed in the shower at the gym. And then everyone freaked out. Is this a public shower thing too, or is this only at home base?
Home base done. I mean, a given. Public shower, if you're in a stall, if you've got a door and nobody can see you, I'll go for it. I was in high school the last time I was in a shower where it was just shower things coming out of the wall. But you know what? In high school, I think we were all just peeing in that communal shower too. We didn't care.
Oh, yeah.
We were high school kids.
I mean, all right, I can't be the only group of guys, but we did when I played college football. For some reason, it was kind of funny while your eyes are closed and you're soaping up the hair for your buddy to come, and you would feel something warm on your leg, and it was your buddy peeing on your leg. It happened.
Yeah.
It happened, yeah.
Oh, it's definitely
we didn't know
happened.
any better, yeah. We're football players. A lot of concussions.
Yeah.
There wasn't protocol. Wasn't protocol back then, Ryder.
Growing up in a house with 5 brothers, there's the whole thing where someone's in the shower and you take a glass or a pan of cold water and dump it over them and they go, it freaks them out.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes that's also like, say, a plastic tumbler from 7-Eleven full of your brother's urine that they pour over your head.
Really?
Just saying.
Oh.
I've heard rumors that happens at times. You just never know, do you? But back to the fact that your husband doesn't pee in the shower. I'm never going to kink shame anybody, but that's a kink to not pee in the shower if you're a dude. There's like some sort of, what do they call it when you see someone, like you'll always see in a movie, some 17th century Italian Monsignor is whipping himself with something to, that's not peeing in the shower is the equivalent of that to me.
I think you can get a yeast infection not peeing in the shower, can't you? I'm not sure.
I'd like to solve
Okay.
bridal and gold shower.
Yes, that's nice.
Sorry. Jen, it's your turn.
I'd like to solve.
Okay.
Bridal and cold shower.
Yeah.
Cold. I mean,
Oh, man.
warm up the cold with the gold, I say.
Goodness gracious. Is that a pearl necklace, or are you just glad to see me? Hey, so speaking of private versus public showers, private versus public restrooms. Have you ever been in a restroom where you go to flush the toilet, but you use your shoe? You just put your foot up there instead with a shoe on it because you don't want to touch the handle.
Yeah, that's how I open the lids too.
Yeah,
with the foot. Yeah.
Yeah, because more than half of people in a recent poll said, oh, yeah, no, I always do that. Or I grab a paper towel. I use something to protect my hands. I have walked into public restrooms and immediately turned around and walked out and said, I'll hold it. Just because, and not because it's so dirty. I can deal with it looking gross. I can stay away from it and not touch anything. But sometimes just the smell is too much. And I'll just turn around and be like, I can't take that. That's just not going to happen.
Sometimes there's an explosion in there. That was this summer. I forget where I was at, but on the road. And it was just someone had exploded. Their body had exploded, I assume, because I don't know how else you could create such a mess. But, yeah, that was just a pivot. And I'm not even going to use the stall next to it. I'm just out of here. I'm going to take it down the road. Yeah.
No, there's definitely some times that I have I've found myself, and it's usually at rest areas. It used to be in the old days, you took the rest area over the gas station, and that's flipped. I've had real bad luck with welcome to whatever state I'm driving through, and you pull into the rest area, and that's usually where apparently they're getting rid of body parts in the men's room or something. It just looks like something from those Saw movies has happened in there. I'm like, what? I don't know what's going on America's highways, but it's kind of gross. I can tell you that much.
Then the door slams shut behind you and locks, and then that Saw guy voice comes at you. Yeah, that would. Yeah, no, you're right. Those rest areas can get real nasty.
We used to, of course, on family trips when I was a kid. I'm sure you guys, Zepp. Well, you said your dad wouldn't. He'd just throw you a bottle into the back of the truck, like here.
That's all you. Yeah,
use this. We would hit the rest areas. It never pulled over for a McDonald's or anything. It was like, no, we packed sandwiches, we packed soft drinks, and we hit rest areas. That's just how we would travel. Mm-hmm. And we would go into these bathrooms, and any number of my brothers would go into a stall, whether they, even if they just had to pee, they'd go into a stall so they could make noises from that stall in an attempt to, freak out other travelers. It would just be grunting, groaning. It would sound like a braying mule at times. Just deep breathing, counting. Like it sounded like someone's giving someone else CPR in there. It was always good stuff. I mean, at least we had that going for us.
That's fun.
And we would do that, and then we would all get back in the car, and my dad would say, "Now keep it quiet." And we had to burn off all the energy at the rest areas. How that is.
Keeps it fresh. Sure. My buddy Paul just messaged. It's an absolute fact that every male on the planet would rather pee anywhere else other than a toilet. I think you're right. Yeah, that's the last option. We do it because that's the way Mom raised us.
I do get really jealous about dudes being able to pee just anywhere.
Oh, yeah, it's the greatest. Just wherever. I remember we'd have, we were so free on the farm, in fact, Mom would just go outside. It was when we had guests over, and then we got a little older, Mom would have to say, now, boys, you're going to have to use the bathroom. We're having guests over. You can't just be, they're running around outside peeing everywhere. We're like dogs. So, like a toilet, what? Oh.
I'm coming up on 2 years here in Minneapolis, and I'll just tell you right now, I've peed in every room at KQ.
That's a lot of damn rooms.
It's a lot of rooms, and I'm kind of flexing because, man, I got some stealth pee tips for anybody that wants to know how to get away with it. It's great. I have urinated during all staff meetings, right there. No one even knows what's happening. I'm telling you, man. This does not come easily. This is years of training.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Brad Williams is with us on the horn. Saturday, Fitzgerald Theater, 2 shows, 7 and 10. Brad Williams, a very funny man. Brad, good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning on my time, which is actually not that bad because I got a 4-year-old. She's been up for about 4 hours. But I'm just saying, I'm excited. I'm excited to be there. I'm excited we're doing 2 shows. First show pretty much sold out, so we got the second show, which tickets are still available for.
This is a professional on the other end of this phone. First of all, up at the crack of dawn, you have a 4-year-old. I remember those days in the toddler and little kid tunnel very well. How's that around the house with you on the road all the time and leaving that kid behind? What's the resentment level from the wife these days?
See there, you asked the exact question, because with the kid, it's great. I'm fun uncle.
Yeah.
Like, I'm dad, but I'm fun uncle. Like, I'm home for 2 days, 2-3 days, and then when I'm home, we're just doing all the fun stuff because we got to get all the family time in during that time. It's the wife that's there for the daily grind, all the wiping of the noses and other orifices that I am not there for, where I am out doing 2 shows at the Fitzgerald Theater, to where it's like, yeah, I'm having fun. And thankfully my fun pays the bills. But yes, the resentment level is high. All I can tell you for other people out there that are in a similar situation, date night, man. You gotta do a date night. Pay for the darn babysitter. Get the 17-year-old down the street. Get them in the house. Go out. Spend extra money, no matter what kind of fluids are dripping from your wife because she's been with the kid all day. Tell her she looks great. Tell her she looks beautiful. Tell her she's the most amazing person in the world. You got to do that, man.
Brad Williams, comedy, marital advice.
Yeah,
take your pick.
Solid,
dude. Oh, you want marital advice? As a comedian, I will give you the thing that has saved my marriage. Okay, this has literally saved my marriage. All right, now. I know everyone has like safe words. Okay, safe words are common. I'm sure you guys have safe words. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, exactly. But my wife and I, we have a safe word for when I'm taking a joke too far. This has saved my marriage. Okay, I am still in the house that I'm in. I haven't lost half my stuff. This is because of this. If I'm going too far with a joke and the wife is uncomfortable, she says the word cephalopod, and then I know you laugh. That's the word. I didn't just make up a word. I didn't go like glockenspiel. Like, no, it's cephalopod, and I know that I got to back off because. My friends are the funniest, most vulgar people in the world. And when you get comedians around each other, we're just trying to top each other. We're just trying to make each other laugh. I was in Nashville last week, and it was me and Chris Porter and JB Ball, and we're just saying the things that are just going to get us canceled if there was ever a camera or a microphone in there. But my wife is not that, and my wife's friends are not that, and God knows my neighbors are not that.
That's
so,
yeah, there should be a whole neighborhood just for comedians, just to make it safe for everybody. You guys should all find a little out of the way little neighborhood in LA and just all go there, and then think how much easier your life's going to be.
I mean, that's why you think we go out to the Comedy Store and the Improv. I mean, we're on the road 3-4 days a week. We're home for 2 or 3 days. And yet we still go out to the comedy clubs. That's our safe zone. There's a place in Denmark that literally has no rules. It's like a little section of the country. It's in Copenhagen.
Christianstad.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, I've been there, baby.
I love that. I love that there's a section of the world that's just the purge.
Yeah. Well, in the early 90s, it was the place to go for good hash. That's all that we cared about. But, it's a free thinking, free living, watch your back kind of place for sure.
No kidding.
Absolutely. So that is what the Comedy Store is out here in L.A. And really, but that's what any stage is for comedians. That's why I love going on stage. That's where I get all that out. So then I could be suburbanite dad when I get home and see my neighbor be like, "How's your grass this year, Greg?" Just boring conversation.
There's always it's always Greg, isn't it? And it's Greg with 3 G's. It's always
that.
Okay.
Brad Williams is at the Fitzgerald, 2 shows Saturday, 7 and 10. You just referenced you were at the Ryman with my buddy Chris Porter. We go back a long way, as it turns out. And I've spent a lot of time at the Ryman because Nashville was my old stomping grounds. Do you ever could you have imagined 15, 20 years ago you'd be playing at the church of country music? And going to places like Nashville, much less you just did your first European tour, I believe. This thing's working out for you, brother.
It is, and thanks for mentioning Nashville, because I think that's the first time I was on your show, Steve.
Yeah.
Is there in Nashville, and that's when I was doing the great comedy club there that's called Zanies.
Yep.
And then to go to the mother church, to go to the Ryman Auditorium, where so this is how you know that I'm feeling my stuff a little too much, because this is how I opened my show at the Ryman. Okay, this is maybe the biggest show of my life in terms of the notoriety of the venue. I walk up on stage and say, "Here we are at the Ryman Auditorium. Everyone has played here. Johnny Cash, Garth Brooks, Loretta Lynn, and Helen Keller." And then the reason why I knew that is because I did the tour before the show. Helen Keller actually played the Ryman.
What?
Played what?
Yes, in 1941, Helen Keller. I don't want to go so far as to say it was a speaking tour because,
Yes.
But Helen did play the Ryman Auditorium, and she sold it out.
She showed up and she had a wah-wah pedal.
Oh, my God.
Hey, that's a freebie.
I went there, baby.
I'm so glad you made the joke because I was about to. I still got a couple of tickets that I got to sell for the late show at the Fitzgerald, so I'm glad that you made the joke.
Yeah.
Trust me, I was thinking it.
Oh, yeah, of course. We all were there. Brad Williams, I can't – we've already discussed this morning. Could there be anything cooler than just dropping this on a people at a cocktail party? Oh, yeah, I'm in the new Spinal Tap movie.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. And you're a musician, so you know.
Oh.
You know what that is. And everyone that has been on a tour bus has watched Spinal Tap multiple times. Anyone that's been on the road, any musician. So the fact that they made another one, I'd be first in line if I wasn't in the film. But then I got a call from Christopher Guest, and he did it because I worked with him in another film on Netflix called Mascots. And he wanted me back, so I'm in the Spinal Tap movie along with all the original cast. There's a few other people that are in the movie. There's a Sir Paul McCartney in the movie. I don't know if you guys know that guy. There's a Sir Elton John. There's a Dave Grohl. There's a Garth Brooks. Everyone's in this film, and I'm not allowed to say what I'm doing in the Spinal Tap movie. But if you know what I look like, and you know Spinal Tap the original, it's not hard to figure out what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I got it.
Yeah.
When is this thing supposed to be out? I mean, I guess I could Google this. Do you know when its release date is?
That's the thing. I have no idea. They're keeping it very hush-hush, but I'm just really excited. I'm also in the film with Wee Man from Jackass, which makes me really excited because now people will finally figure out that he and I are not the same freaking person.
Brad Williams is with us on the KQ Morning Show Saturday at the Fitzgerald Theater. 2 shows, 7 and 10. 7's just about sold out. There's a few tickets left for the 10 p.m. If you want a good night, you could do a lot worse than Brad Williams. So, I want to go back to what you were talking about. You said comedians sitting around, it's unlike anything else. And you referenced the old Club Zanies. I did an event there one night where I just found myself in the green room with 7 stand-up comedians. And I just sat there sort of terrified and in awe because that was a conversation unlike any other I've ever been a fly on the wall for, because it really was a case of, it's like if you imagine a bunch of NBA players all just playing horse and coming up with the absolute. That's what I was thinking. This is like I'm watching Bird and Magic and Jordan play horse, try to outdo each other, and the depth of the depravity in the jokes they were coming up with, it scarred me. I mean, I was in my late 40s, and I was going, I can't believe this is just them hanging out on a Saturday night. It was amazing.
Yes.
What is wrong with you people?
You've been a touring rock star, and you're clutching your pearls.
I was. I truly was. I was like, this is a whole nother level of darkness and hilarity somehow infused.
And I'll be funny, but I'll also be serious. The thing about that, I mean, why do we do that? What is wrong with us? I don't know. We probably have some pent up daddy issues, didn't get hugged enough, whatever. But then at the same time, the reason why being in a green room with a bunch of comedians just making each other laugh is so beautiful is because comedians just look at the joke as the joke, and the only thing that matters is it funny or is it not funny. If we have a sibling that is afflicted with a certain condition that somebody else talks about, we don't care because we're just looking at the joke separate from all of that. And the thing is like some people, it's amazing to me that some people will go see a comedian, see a performance, be like, oh, they're racist, they're sexist, or misogynistic, or homophobic, or whatever. But then if you go to a comedian green room, if you go to a comedy club green room, you will see the black comic, the white comic, the Asian comic, the trans comic, the gay comic, the disabled comic. Everyone is just there making fun of each other because the only currency that truly matters to us is funny. That's all that matters. So that's why it's such a mind screw up for us to go into the quote-unquote real world, the civilized world, and have people not view jokes that way, and have people take stuff personally, which is hence to go back to the part of our conversation earlier, why the safe word has saved my marriage. Okay, that is why that has happened. So, I mean, it's a wonderful thing, and I love the fact that comedy is having the surge right now. Sometimes I get asked, like, what do you think about all these comedians getting canceled? And I think to myself, like, okay, so the comedians that have been canceled have been like Dave Chappelle, Joe Rogan, Shane Gillis, and Louis C.K., and they're all selling out stadiums. Great. Cancel me. Okay?
Please. Feel free.
Take something I say in this interview out of context and cancel me, because then I'll be adding a third show at the Fitzgerald. So please, by all means, do it.
Brad Williams, let's go back to the very early days. First time you got up with a mic in your hand and did this in a room full of strangers. How old were you?
Yeah. 19. I'm 40 now, which is about 65 in dwarf.
Okay.
And I've been doing this for 20 years. So if you just heard of me, and for those of you who don't know, they're like, who is this guy they've been talking to the whole time? If you open up Instagram and a dwarf has a microphone, that's me. Okay, I'm in your algorithms. That's me. So yeah, I've been doing it 20 years. 20 years to be an overnight success. And the first time on stage I was in the audience of a comedy club at the Brea Improv, and the comedian on stage was making midget jokes, and half the audience was laughing, and the audience that was sitting by me was deathly quiet. Right. And the comedian noticed that, and he said, these jokes are funny. What's wrong? He goes, and he says, what? Is one of them here? And I raised my creepy little hand in the air, and the comedian called me up on stage and started asking me questions. The answers I gave were honest. They weren't. I wasn't trying to be funny, but my answers got laughs from the audience, and that was it. That was the moment where I'm like, oh, I got to do this for a living.
That was
yeah, I remember the comedian asked me, he goes, what do you do for a living? And I grew up and lived in Orange County, California, so my answer, of course, was I work at Disneyland. And the audience started to chuckle, and I looked, I said, shut up, I'm not one of the 7. And and see, that joke still gets laughed at.
It does.
Which warms my heart. So, that's how it all started. And then all it takes, guys, to be successful in stand-up comedy is to be an absolute road dog for 20 years of your life, maybe a global pandemic and people locked in their homes so they have nothing to do but watching social media clips where they can consume stand-up comedy, and then you too can sell out the Fitzgerald Theater and add a second show.
Hey, man, master planning on your part, Brad. Very well played.
From the beginning, my friend.
Pulling the strings on those wet markets in China to boost your own career. Awesome. Hey, dude, it's great to talk to you again. Seriously. Fitzgerald, 2 shows, 7 and 10 p.m. BradWilliamsComedy.com is where people can get tickets. I got to ask you 2 questions. Give me your favorite band. I know it's impossible. You can change your answer tomorrow, but right now, shoot from the hip. Who is it?
Right now, my favorite band is a band called Dirty Honey. I love Dirty Honey.
Okay.
They are. I mean, all time, obviously the Crows, but for the most part.
Oh no, I'm a sucker for Adam Duritz. I love those dreads. All right, last question. Favorite team, any sport?
Oh, I mean, I went and saw them on Sunday. Denver Broncos. They're the thing that fuels me. I got to be at the stadium on Sunday when the Broncos beat the Raiders. They put me up on the Jumbotron, and the stadium went nuts because apparently dancing dwarf is good luck for a team. Everyone knows it. But yeah, I named my daughter after one of the greatest Denver Broncos of all time. I will not say the name, but yeah. So yeah, good old Terrell Davis Williams. So yeah, there is a slight obsession there, but hey, kudos to all your listeners in Minnesota because man, no one thought the Vikings were going to be undefeated this year. No one thought that Sam Bradford, USC Trojan, fight on. I went to USC.
Mm-hmm.
No one thought that he was going to be what he was going to be this year. So kudos to the Vikings, and I'm really happy, genuinely happy for that team and that fan base.
It's a long-suffering and right now feeling pretty good fan base. You hit that on the head. All right, Brad, it's a pleasure, brother. Have a great time at the Fitzgerald Saturday night, and it's always great to talk to you. Thanks for calling in.
Always a pleasure talking to you too, Steve.
See ya. Man. He's getting his USC quarterbacks confused.
Right, he meant Darnold.
He meant Sam Darnold. But, we all knew it.
But Bradford was here.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was. That's right.
Yeah, that's how we go. That's how we roll.
Nice, funny.
Fitzgerald Saturday night. I'm like, wait a minute. I wasn't even thinking about that. I might have to catch that 10 o'clock show because that's a very funny guy.
Yeah, he is. Love his energy.
Yeah. It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
Gnarly Hayjack. That's not a condition of your liver. It's not a move on a skateboard. It's a surfer. Charlie Gnarly Hayjack. He's a 62-year-old surfing legend. He's down in Florida, New Smyrna Beach. My man basically surfs for a living. He tapped out. He's like one of those ski bums. He's a surf bum. He's never done anything else. He's won 18 East Coast Surf Championships. He runs a local youth surf series.
Yeah.
His entire adult existence has been surfing, as was his childhood existence. Last week, 2 hours on the water, he decides to come in. He's paddling to shore, and he was in knee-deep water, and he stepped off the board right on top of a fish. It was not any kind of fish. It was a shark. And we'll let Gnarly tell you what happened.
And all those little teeth, you couldn't see them. There were perfect little slices in my leg. Every one of them just opened up like a flower and blew blood out, man. It was so gnarly. By the time I even thought twice about it, it just, bam, it lit me up, man. I felt like I stuck my foot in a light socket.
When you get out there, do you ever fear for your life?
Well, Sue, I'll tell you, surfing's not a sport. It's a way of life, no hobby. It's a way of looking at that wave and saying, hey, bud, let's party.
We have found Jeff Spicoli. He is alive and well, and his name is Charlie Gnarly Hayjack.
Yeah, and if you're imagining, picturing Gnarly Charlie in your mind, yeah, you nailed it. You got it right. Blonde hair, scruffy.
Really? No shirt?
The tan that goes like all the way down to the bone.
Charlie gave a lengthy interview with Outside Magazine. He said, I see 5 sharks every day I surf, man. They're harmless. That's his quote. They're harmless. Yeah. He's in the hospital, laid up. The thing ripped his calf open. He's got a ton of stitches. He said they're harmless. He goes, they are harmless. Well, until you step on one. Then you're going to get lit up. Again, lit up. And he goes, I see the same sharks all the time. I give them all names. This one, I call him Barney because he did a silly thing. He bit me. Those are real quotes. Wow. I love this guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's getting away with it, isn't he? The rest of us are stressing out about where don't NFL players like to play?
He has been, by the way, he's been tracking all of his surf days on paper calendars with a pen since 1982, the year Fast Times at Ridgemont High was released.
What the?
Hold on.
Dude.
The day he surfs, there's a big smiley face on every calendar page. The days he doesn't surf stays blank. And by the way, another quote, I'm butthurt, man. This was my longest streak ever, 148 days. Now I got to start over. He had not missed a day of surf since sometime in April.
Wow. Gnarly, you've got yourself a shark bite on your leg. You've completed the journey. Not completed the journey, but you've come full circle now. You've got to have that. You got Gnarly Charlie, the ultimate surfer, has to be able to throw his leg up on the table at the bar and say, yeah, that's where the shark got me. Yeah. By the way, glad that Barney was just a youngin'. 4 or 5 footer because it was in fact a bull shark.
Oh, that'll hurt you bad if it gets full size.
Yeah, the bull shark, that's number 1 on Shark Week, you know. Everybody thinks about the great white or the oceanic white tip or the tiger shark. No, number 1 for just effing people up, close to shore especially, would be the bull shark. But he ran into a little baby Barney bull shark.
On a beach in Florida, not far from New Smyrna, probably 15 years ago with the family, and I looked to my left, north, I'm facing east, looking at the ocean. I looked left, and it's a very uncrowded day on the beach, and I see a guy running down the beach. But he's not like a jogger. He's running, and he's kind of out of wind, and he's got his hands up to his mouth, and he's yelling, and I'm like, what is he saying? And he's going, shark, shark. And as he gets closer, the Doppler effect brings it a little louder. Yeah. And then someone else sitting to my left jumps up and waves him and says, I got it now. Then that guy starts running. It was like a relay. Like the protocol is
relay race.
Everybody runs 100 yards and then they're out of breath and then the next guy takes it. And he was just going all the way down. And the guy that ran past me, the second shark screamer who ran past me, giving his Paul Revere midnight ride, right completely run along him, 4 feet out from the sand was a big dorsal fin. It was a bull shark, a big one. And and it was swimming it was like the shark was like, I'm going to see if I can make some guys run. And he was just swimming at the same pace the guy was running. So not that fast for a shark. Yeah. And then another guy picked it up. And then I looked to my right, and about 300 yards down, there was just a group of 20 people in the water.
Holy!
And then all of a sudden, it's like everybody you saw this wave of, oh crap, this panic. And then once one of those people picked up what was happening, it was like the scene in Jaws. They all came flying out of the water.
Hell yeah.
And that was just one of those moments. And I'm like, kids want to get in the water now? And we're like, we're going to go back to the room and stare at the water from the balcony 100 yards offshore.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Let's talk about the things we would like to be buried with. That's a natural subject because, it's going to happen to us all. We're all going to be there one day, and then our friends and our family are going to go, what should we put in there with him? I don't really know. I mean, there's some pretty obvious ones. Frank Sinatra, very famously, for example, was buried with a flask of Jack Daniels. My man wanted 2 fingers on ice with a splash of water, and by God, they laid that. They gave him a flask for the road, as well as a roll of dimes, just in case he wanted to make some phone calls from the great beyond. So, I mean, that's how Francis Albert is resting forever, which I can appreciate.
I like the style.
There's already one here, text. I buried my dad with a huge 3-foot-long wrench. He was a millwright for 35 years. I like that. That would make sense.
Right. Just pretty sick of that. But no, that's a sweet. That's endearing. I didn't know you buried people with stuff until a buddy of ours, Gary, that we rode motorcycle with, died in a rollerblading accident, no less. What a way to go. But anyway, it dies. And so, we're burying him out there in Prescott, and someone puts a bottle of Jägermeister. We like our Jägermeister. Put the Jägermeister in the casket with him. I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing there. That's cool. I seal it up. We go out to bury him. It's a downpour that day, and we all drove our motorcycles just in a downpour. That would be like Gary to try and pull something like that. And so we're under the canopy. Everybody's crowded under the canopy. It's freezing. It's pouring rain. And someone says, hey, I don't suppose we get that casket open, could we, for that Jägermeister? They quickly shut that down. Yeah, you can't do that.
You guys think about it for a second,
I mean, it was sure sounded nice in the pouring rain there.
He wouldn't have minded. He's always sharing the Jaeger back in the day.
What if he had opened it up and the bottle was now empty?
Yeah, his hand was just gripping it tightly.
Good one.
Great.
Tony Curtis, it says here. Tony Curtis, old school actor, buried with an iPhone and Splenda. What the hell?
That's insulting.
What about you, Steve? What would you want to be buried with?
Just, you know what, this microphone and, of course, dressed in KQ swag. I mean, that's
pair of headphones on.
You know it, man.
Marketing would be so proud.
I want when the governor says we have to exhume the body, it sounds like foul play actually was a part of this. I want that. I want them to open that casket and just head to toe in KQ gear. Come on.
Nice. I was kind of thinking for myself, maybe Natalie Portman.
Right. She might be reluctant.
I don't know. It's a drugger. Oh, you know what? How about an oxygen tank and a fully charged phone, just in case?
Sure. Just in case.
Sometimes. You never know.
Sure.
I'd want to be buried with a live monkey just in case I come back alive so you can alert people.
That poor monkey.
Is that the monkey we buried with Tony? Uh-oh.
The monkey with a scuba tank. He's down there like, hey, man, we sent one of those bastards to space. The least we can do is put him in the casket with Tony.
Well, that leaves you, Ryder.
Oh, I have a PBR sign that my dad stole from R.I.P. Cullis Tavern on Riverside that needs to get buried with me. I think it's 5 feet long, so it's shorter than I am. It's going to fit in the casket.
I'm going to challenge, and I think that would be a better headstone for you. The big PBR bear
really.
You got to put the string down so I can turn on the light when I'm back alive again.
Fair enough.
Man, on the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK, Terry, the Zepp man, said, bury me with my Zeppelin memorabilia. That makes perfect sense.
That seems like it's going to be a lot of stuff, though, Terry.
I told my Sid the kid once I want to be buried on my Harley. I said, just put me on top of the Harley and just drop it right in the ground. And she said, screw that. I'm going to ride that Harley to your funeral.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right. Better answer.
It's going to be an expensive casket. You got to get that Harley in there.
Right.
Okay, here's one. This is nice. A text just came in. My dad was buried in his KQ Morning Show shirt.
Wow. Oh, I love it.
Come on.
That's awesome.
Okay, I guess the joke is pics or it didn't happen. Here's one. As long as she's still alive, bury me with my ex-wife.
Wow.
There's the Halloween spirit. It's funny for Halloween week.
Yeah, it is.
It's a 911 call otherwise.
Yes.
Man. Let's see what else. I saw. Bela Lugosi was buried with a Dracula cape. That's pretty good.
Of course he was.
Wow.
Of course he was. Ronnie Van Zant, fishing pole and a black hat. All
I like that one.
Yeah. Bob Marley is a good one. Red Gibson Les Paul.
Sure.
And Weed.
I've got several friends I know who were buried with records, albums, actual LPs, just like the standard thing right there. What was what's the movie where Tom Hanks is on the island for Castaway? Almost said Fade Away. And he says at the end when he gets rescued and he's with his buddy and his friends tell him about the funeral and he goes, "What was in the coffin?" Because they didn't have a body. And he was like, some Elvis CDs and bottle of hooch and whatever. And it's like, that's pretty much what it is. You just throw some crap in there, feel good about yourself. You remember the guy in Ireland a couple years ago who died, and then he, at the funeral, he pre-recorded himself, and his son, I think, hooked it up so there was a little PA, no one noticed. And as they were lowering the casket, you hear the guy's voice going, "No, hang on, I'm not dead. Don't do this. What are you doing?" From the grave, and everyone's just rolling in laughter and crying, I was like, only an Irish guy's going to get away with that and not have people freak out.
It's brilliant, because everyone is looking rather sober, somber as you do with these things, and then pretty soon they're all just laughing their asses off.
Elizabeth Taylor was buried with a note from Richard Burton, the last love letter he ever wrote to her in 1984. She kept it by her bedside for the rest of her life through all of those other marriages and then was buried with it.
Yeah. Well, they were going to squeeze in the divorce papers, but there just wasn't enough room. A lot of them.
Great. What does Larry, the construction guy, husband number 9, think about that?
Yeah.
I mean, you already knew in life, like, well, I mean, I'm no Richard Burton, but she said she loved me. And then all of a sudden he's like, she wants to be buried with that note. Okay, fine. Damn, man, I was hoping she'd want some of this bonding cement paste that I use, but that's fine. Whatever she's going to do, that's fine.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
I'm not that intoxicated.
Mommy, I have to go potty. Daddy.
Drinks are on me.
The KQ Morning Show presents Little Kid or Drunk Adult.
I'm so wasted.
Oh, man. It's a tough one, Zepp. It's a tough one.
Oh, this is a tough batch this morning, I think. In particular, yeah, even for this game.
Well, this at its easiest, this game is damn near impossible. If you're saying it's an extra tough batch, I don't feel good for our contestants. First up, we got Nick in Newport. Nick, good morning.
Good morning.
Nick, give me your favorite band.
Favorite brand is AC/DC.
Hey, good answer. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
Vikings have been clutching defeat from the jaws of victory for years.
That's exactly. Nobody does it better, brother. We appreciate it. All right, Nick, we're playing Little Kid or Drunk Adult. I am assuming you have been both a little kid and a drunk adult at least once or twice.
Indeed, I have.
Well, then you're perfect for this game. Zepp, take it away.
All right, thank you. Here we go, Nick. I feel like I got it started with that whole dirt bike and Rosemont story already, but we're going to turn it over to Marion. This is Marion, Nick.
I got in trouble for going in the back of McDonald's where they make all their food, and I started making my own version of the Big Mac.
All right, so Marion just helped herself to the McDonald's kitchen. She just wandered back there and started making her own version of a Big Mac. But was she a little kid or was she a drunk adult, Nick?
Oh, wow. This is a tough one. I would say probably as a little kid.
Okay, so I was just a really hungry little kid, and apparently my babysitter just wasn't watching me. I basically just walked right into the back of a McDonald's and started grabbing whatever I could reach off the counter. Like, basically, the restaurant manager ended up coming out and not only kicked out me, but my babysitter and my other little sister. Needless to say, my mom never had that babysitter watch us again after that.
God, I'm surprised they didn't offer you a job.
I think the babysitter was the drunk adult in that scenario.
I think you're probably right. Hey, Nick, that's off to a pretty good start right there. I thought that one, to me, sounded like drunk adult, but yeah, you got it.
It's amazing what you can get away of, at least for a little while, as either a little kid or a drunk adult. It really is a super strength.
Yeah, it really is. All right, Nick, 1 for 1. Meet Jeremy.
So the story is I dove headfirst into a Christmas tree to get one of my parents' attention.
All right, he's trying to get one of his parents' attention and dove headfirst into the Christmas tree as a little kid or a drunk adult.
Anytime it has to do with diving or falling over with a Christmas tree, it's usually a drunk adult.
Listen to you, Nick.
Drunk adult.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was at my dad's company Christmas party, and I was doing some karaoke, and I'm singing all of his favorite songs, and he's totally ignoring me. And so to get his attention, I did a beeline across the lobby and dove headfirst into the Christmas tree.
Holy smokes.
That was Jeremy channeling his little kid as a drunk adult, still trying to get Dad's attention. Nick, you've got this figured out. I got too cocky when I said this was a tough batch. 2 for 2. Can you run the table? It's rarely been done. Nick, meet Lucy.
I told the dentist that he had bad breath and had ugly teeth.
All right, she told the dentist he had bad breath and ugly teeth.
I would say that that sounds something that a child would say to a dentist, in my opinion.
Oh, wait a second.
I was a drunk adult. I was hammered at a party. There was this arrogant dentist there. He was being a jerk to my friend who's a teacher. He told him that for an educator, you aren't very smart. So I said, well, for a dentist, you have terrible breath, and your breath smells like a swamp. And he called me an a-hole and walked off.
See, I didn't know she was at a party. I would assume she was sitting in the chair. But
okay.
Yeah, all right. Well, come on.
That Lucy's she's a trickster. What a minx. What a lovable little boy. But I tell you what, Nick, that 2 for 3. I mean, that's honestly about as good as it ever gets around here. Very well played, sir. By the way, I would have gone 0 for 3. I guessed all 3 of those wrong. So I'm very impressed with 2 out of 3. Nick, sit tight for a minute. It's time for contestant number 2, Brian in Woodbury. Brian, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Give me your favorite band, brother.
It's a tie between Van Halen and the Smiths.
Van Halen and the Smiths. Wow.
It's going from one ditch to the other.
That's like a guy who got really drunk at us festival and only remembered a little bit of 2 different days. Man. Well, now I'm doing the mashup in my head. I'm picturing David Lee Roth singing "I Know It's Over" from The Queen Is Dead. And it's just too good to. Or even better, Morrissey singing "Hot for Teacher" would be pretty special. I've got it bad. I am hot for teacher. All right, Brian, give me your. I got to stop because I will literally go all day. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
That'd be the University of Minnesota Golden Gopher football team.
Oh, I like it. All right, well, this is little kid or drunk adult. You have been both. I assume you have some insight. You got to get 2 out of 3 for a tie. No small order in front of you, sir. Best of luck.
All right, Brian, here we go. By the way, did you know, Brian, your name means strength, virtue, and honor? I Googled it once. Have that right there. All right, here we go, Brian. Brian, meet Brad.
So one time I once dropped an egg sandwich into a public toilet, and I still ate it.
All right, dropped his sandwich into a public toilet, but he still ate it. Was he a little kid or a drunk adult, Brian?
Little kid.
I was a little kid.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. When we were growing up, we were kind of poor, and we were taught that you never wasted food. And I went in a bathroom and accidentally dropped my sandwich in the toilet. So I reached in, grabbed it. It was still wrapped up. It's not the sort of thing I would do today.
No, but wouldn't Mom and Dad be proud? Waste not, want not.
Boom.
Yeah. All right, 1 for 1. I like it, Brian. Off to a hot start. This would be Lisa.
So I set a cage full of hamsters free in a pet store.
All right. Yeah. Lisa, I don't know if that's off the phone. Yeah. Lisa freed some hamsters in a pet store. But was she a little kid or a drunk adult?
I'll go drunk adult.
All right, here we go.
I was a drunk adult.
Yeah, she was.
My brother came to pick me up from a bar after I got too hammered at a Saturday brunch. And on the way to his apartment, he needed to stop to get his dog at the groomers before they closed. When he was getting the dog, I tried to kiss a hamster after opening its cage. And it didn't like that. So it bit my lip. And I knocked the cage over, letting 3 more hamsters escape, and couldn't get them back in the cage and left immediately.
You're drunk. They're long-winded. I think she was drunk telling that story. All right. But you got a breather there. Brian, you're 2 for 2. I love this. For the tie or the win. All right. Here we go. Brian, this is Thomas.
So I poured a huge cooler full of cold red Kool-Aid all over my neighbor's 90-year-old grandparents while they were in a jacuzzi just hanging out.
All right, so here's what Tom did. He dumped a cooler of red Kool-Aid onto some 90-year-old grandparents sitting in a hot tub. Was he a little kid or a drunk adult, Brian?
Tough one. Little kid.
I was a little kid.
Yeah.
My best friend dared me to do it, and he filmed it, and actually, I ended up going to military school because of this, and I don't talk to him anymore.
Well, channel that rambunctiousness into the military.
He's now a lieutenant colonel, so it all worked out okay.
Yeah.
Jeez. Brian, 3 for 3. Second, maybe only the third time that's happened in my almost 2 years of little kid or drunk adult. Very well played, sir. Nick, my man, 2 out of 3, 9 days out of 10 wins it around here, but Brian was just too much for you. Thanks for calling in, Nick. Brian, you've got the AC/DC tickets. Congratulations. Very well played, sir.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Man, that is outstanding right there.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I'm sorry, I just can't get over the whole Van Halen or the Smiths. It's the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's like you're on a first date and you haven't figured her out yet. Is she a rock chick? Is she a thinker? Right. Van Halen, Smiths? And see which one.
I live my life like there's no tomorrow.
Well, you know.
All I've got I had to steal, don't beg or borrow. All right. The Morrissey singing Van Halen is just, that's gold, man.
I feel like I got to get on a mashup here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.
Hey, it's Ryder from the KQ Morning Show. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that good stuff. Thanks for using the Best of the KQ Morning Show podcast to get through your holiday season. Sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. New episodes fire up Monday, January 6th.